7 Action News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news on a deadly morning on Metro Detroit roads. At least 3 people are dead in separate crashes. One on I-94 that still has the eastbound lanes closed at Belleville Road. The second on Detroit's west side.
2 people were killed there, including a 4-year-old. Our teams are standing by with what we are learning at both scenes. Plus, Allie Hoxie's in the traffic center with your workarounds.
And 7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham is in Detroit, where that young child was killed in a crash on 7 Mile Road overnight. Darren, what are you learning from police?
Yes, well, at this point, the scene has officially cleared. The road is back open. It cleared about 10 minutes ago. Firefighters were out here just spraying some of that debris off to the side here, glass that was in the roadway here. But you can see some of the tape is still up. But like I say, here at 7 Mile and Faust, where this accident happened at 2:30 this morning, things are clear. 2 people are dead. The man driving a Chevy Impala has died. A 4-year-old in the Nissan. There's a woman and a 4-year-old in a Nissan. The 4-year-old, Sally, has also passed away. Police say that the woman driving that vehicle has been arrested. She is listed in temporary serious condition in the hospital, but she has been arrested because alcohol is believed to be a factor. We saw officers on the side of the roadway, on the sidewalk, looking around, and so it appears that they picked up a bottle of alcohol and carried it back to their back to one of their patrol vehicles. So the medical examiner obviously was out here, took those bodies away. 2 wreckers took those vehicles away, I would say, about 15-20 minutes ago. And so police said that they will be reviewing green light camera out here to try and see what happened or the moments that led up to this crash. But at this moment, at this time, it is unclear whether the child was wearing a car seat. But again, just to recap, a 4-year-old, Sally, has passed away, as well as the driver, a man in the other vehicle. So right now we're going to go ahead and pass it over, or toss it over to Jen Chunts, who is live in Belleville.
Yeah, Darren, a deadly day on the roads in Detroit, also a deadly day on the roads here in Belleville. Another deadly crash right behind me here, closing the eastbound lanes of 94. You can see this happened hours ago, but crews are still on scene here. These 2 cars involved in this crash, barely recognizable. Now, one of them you can see is on a wrecker there. The other one is a classic car. It's a Buick LeSabre. That was actually flipped over on its roof when we first arrived on scene. It's since been turned back over. Now, this is a deadly crash. As I mentioned, 1 person we know has died as a result of this. Now, based on the tire marks, which as of this morning were still pretty clear, it appears that this may have been a wrong way crash, but we are still awaiting details this morning from Michigan State Police to confirm that. So it is still not clear at this hour exactly how this happened. Again, the eastbound lanes are closed here on I-94 from Belleville to Haggerty Road this morning. So if you are heading out the door, starting that morning commute, you're going to want to avoid this area. You can see one of those cars is on the wrecker here, but they are still doing a lot of cleanup on this scene. I'm going to send it over to Allie Hoxie. She's in the studio with ways you can avoid this crash. And Allie, I know there is a very long backup as a result of this incident.
Yeah, I'm sure you see it out there this morning. We're seeing it on our maps this morning. You're looking at traffic 11 miles per hour all the way backed up to Rawsonville. So your get around this morning is southbound Rawsonville. Exit the highway there. Don't wait till Belleville, because then you're going to be in this congestion. And then take the eastbound service drive all the way to Haggerty to get back onto the highway. There's still no word yet on how long the highway is going to be closed. You said, Jen, you said out there that there's still a lot of work being done. Now, you can actually see that back up on one of our MDOT cameras. This is a look at I-94 in Belleville. You can see just how slow traffic is moving in this area. So again, avoid the area altogether.
Thank you very much, Allie. It is Wednesday, June the 9th, and we do welcome you on this morning. I'm Alicia Smith.
And I'm Keenan Smith. And it is a foggy start to the day. But let's check in with 7 First Alert meteorologist Kevin Jeans for a look at our midweek forecast. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, guys. Humid, foggy this morning. It's going to be another hot and humid afternoon today. And I think with fewer thunderstorms this afternoon than the amount of storms that we had yesterday afternoon. And that means you might not have the rain to cool you off. If it was light or you had some heavy rain yesterday, at least it kept the temperatures down a bit. And so today, with the humidity being as high as it is, you're really hoping for one of the showers this afternoon. But be careful on the roads. Watch for fog this morning. By lunch hour, it'll climb to about 81 degrees, and this afternoon highs are going to be in the mid-80s. Visibility down to a half mile into Monroe, and it just dropped, showing 0 in Ann Arbor. So some spots, the fog is going to be more dense than others. And right now around Washtenaw County, be careful around the Ann Arbor area for some more dense fog. Muggy meter, it's up there. Dew points around 70 this afternoon. So the heat index, what it's going to feel like today with a high of 85, the heat index around 89, maybe 90 degrees. And again, fewer storms today. Still the chance this afternoon through this evening, but with fewer storms out there to cool you down, get ready for a hot afternoon. You're going to be sweating this afternoon, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water, guys.
Good advice. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, police are working to find the killer of a 55-year-old man. The victim was shot just after 8 o'clock last night inside of a home on Cornell near Southfield and the Lodge in Southfield. We're told that the victim was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. It is not clear if police have made an arrest yet in this case, but they do say it was someone the victim knew.
Well, more signs of hope in Michigan's fight against COVID-19.
Metro Detroit is looking to rebound this summer after 15 months filled with challenges. Beaumont Health has announced a huge milestone. There were only 96 positive or suspected COVID-19 cases in the health system over the weekend. That's the lowest number since the 4th of July weekend last year.
This third surge, I think, is now officially over. We peaked at around 120 patients admitted across the system during this surge, and things are finally starting to get better. We continue our vaccine.
And another major milestone, more than 70% of Michiganders 50 and older have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. That is important because adults 50 and up account for most of the COVID-19 deaths here in Michigan.
And in another sign of hope, non-essential travel between the United States and Canada could soon return. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says that Canada could unveil relaxed measures for fully vaccinated people within the coming weeks. The border between the two countries has been closed since March of last year. Right now, there is a serious vaccination disparity between the two countries, with only 7% of adult Canadians over the age of 18 being fully vaccinated, compared to 53% of American adults. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken spoke Tuesday about where travel between the two countries stands.
We're working closely with the Canadians to see if we can make sure that the ability of our citizens to go to and fro is sustained.
The U.S. and Canadian Chambers of Commerce say that the two governments should allow fully vaccinated travelers to start crossing on June 22nd.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden is sounding the alarm about a dangerous variant, the Delta variant, first found in India. He sent out a tweet late Tuesday urging young people to get their shot. Now, according to genomic sequencing studies, as of right now, the Delta variant only accounts for 6% of cases here in the U.S. But Biden's top public health advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, warns that could change quickly. He also says it's important to reach the president's Independence Day goal.
We want to get to and above the goal of 70% of the adult population receiving at least one dose by the 4th of July. If you've had your first dose, make sure you get that second dose.
The Pfizer vaccine is said to be 88% effective against the new variant after the second dose, but only 33% effective after just one shot. There's no word yet on the effectiveness of the Moderna or Johnson & Johnson vaccines against the Delta variant.
Now let's turn our attention to the coronavirus numbers here in Michigan and Metro Detroit, and you can do this at home using our interactive tracking map on WXYZ.com. Now, the number of new COVID-19 cases you see right there, 293 reported yesterday afternoon. By comparison, at the end of April, the number of new cases was more than 3,600. Now, when we zoom into the local Metro Detroit area, you see the figures highlighting there. Wayne County being the most right now, but overall the whole area, 144 new cases. In Wayne County specifically, the one that's darkest, you see the most cases, 39 new cases. In Oakland County, that's next with 30 cases, tied with Macomb County here showing also 30 cases. In the city of Detroit right now, just trailing with 29 new cases. Again, these numbers are a fraction of what we were seeing in early to mid-spring. Now, you can check out this interactive map on our website to see what's happening in your area. Just go to WXYZ.com.
From prison to the pulpit, Kwame Kilpatrick will preach at Little Rock Baptist Church in Detroit this weekend. The city's former mayor is expected to address the congregation around 10:30 Sunday morning. Kilpatrick, who turned 51 yesterday, was released from prison 5 months ago after being pardoned by former President Donald Trump. The father of three was sentenced to 28 years in prison for public corruption back in 2013. He served 7 years of that sentence before his commutation and still owes nearly $5 million in restitution. State Representative Sherry Gay Dagnogo says this is a great opportunity for a fresh start.
Keep an open mind is what I would tell people, but he has apologized. And so this is a time where people who are most important in the city of Detroit are eager and looking forward to hearing from him.
Now, Sunday's appearance will mark Kilpatrick's first public appearance since his release from prison. We've also learned that Kilpatrick was recently engaged and is planning to remarry next month.
Well, it's been a humid week, and it's going to be another humid day today. But after the break, we're going to go through this hour-by-hour forecast and look in the 7-day when the humidity is really going to be dropping.
We do have breaking news for you this morning. We have a freeway closure eastbound I-94 at Belleville, currently closed between Belleville and Haggerty. Get off the highway Rawsonville, eastbound I-94 Service Drive. You can get back onto the highway at Haggerty.
Time now 6:11, record-breaking levels.
Now, a drought on the West Coast is reaching a historic level today. Plus, Kevin will have an update on Michigan's drought this morning.
Also, still waiting for furniture that you bought months ago. We've been reporting about this problem, and our team has some advice for you so you don't waste your money. Are you thinking about buying some new furniture for your home? We've told you over and over about the furniture shortage, and it's not getting any better. Well, here's some helpful advice from our team so you don't waste your money. Melissa Taylor told our team earlier this year about her new couch nightmare. She was waiting over 6 months for what was supposed to be a 6-week wait.
They haven't started production on my couch, so here I am just waiting.
Luckily, she finally got her delivery. But if you don't want to spend months with an empty living room, your best friend right now might be a local furniture store as opposed to a big web retailer.
Folks are coming in saying, why can't I get a sofa for 28 weeks?
Pam Mockenheimer is a design director of a retro furniture store.
There's no stock. Things have ceased to come in from other countries.
Even if you buy American made, she says.
They're suffering from shortages of foam and even some of the fabrics.
But she says locally owned stores will go the extra mile to make sure the kitchen set or couch you want is available, such as showing you fabrics that are available right now. Her store will even sell floor models, unlike many chains, and she'll give you a loaner couch while you're waiting. So before you click online to save a few bucks, check some local furniture retailers, like going to the farmer for fresh milk. They'll do their best to take care of you. One last tip, if you're thinking about getting some new custom furniture for Christmas, order it now. Don't wait until fall, because it might not get there in time if you do.
Yeah, you know, if you're thinking about Christmas and you have to order now, that's just a sign of how bad things are, because just as a reminder, it's June 9th. My goodness.
I know it.
All right. Thank you so much, Alicia. Yeah. All right, well, the impact of the western drought has hit a new critical level this week. Lake Mead is expected to hit its lowest level since the construction of the Hoover Dam back in the 1930s. Now, both Lake Mead and the Hoover Dam sit on the border of Arizona and Nevada along the Colorado River. The river provides drinking water for Arizona, Nevada, and parts of Mexico. The dam also generates electricity for Arizona, Nevada, and California. But as the water level drops, So does power output. The Western Area Power Administration says the Hoover Dam normally generates enough power every day to provide electricity for 8 million homes, but Tuesday's output was down about 25%. Now, here in Metro Detroit, we have our own drought as of late, and 7 First Alert meteorologist Kevin Jeans has been tracking that drought. We got a good soaking yesterday, at least in some spots,
right,
but I would imagine that's not enough to really change the drought.
No, we're still in a drought. I mean, nowhere near the kind of drought that that out west is seeing right now, and that's common. Phoenix, only gets about 2 inches of rain during the monsoon season of Arizona. So everywhere highlighted in the red and the deep red color, that is the most extreme drought conditions. That's across the Southwest. Now, here at home, we're under a moderate drought across southeast Michigan, a little sliver of southwestern Michigan from Kalamazoo to Grand Rapids area. That's more of a severe drought. So we've had below average rain every month so far this year. So the average is the orange. So these orange bars, that's where the average is each month. So far this month, we've had just under an inch of rain for June. The average is about 3 1/4, so still a ways to go. On the year, this is all at DTW, by the way. On the year, we are right around 5 inches of rain below average. So rain is a good thing. And today, it's not going to be as widespread as yesterday, unfortunately. So with that in mind, it's still going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Highs ranging in the mid-80s. If you get some rain, that'll cool you down. The wind shifting out of the east today, a gross point 82 degrees for a high temperature. Pontiac, Plymouth around 87 degrees. Chance of some showers and slow-moving thunderstorms this afternoon once again. They're not going to be as numerous of storms as we had yesterday, so hopefully you get some rain to cool you off. But if you miss out on the showers today, it's going to be hot and humid, and it's going to feel like it's about 90 degrees outside this afternoon. Should be drying out for the game tonight. 82 degrees by first pitch for the Tigers game, and then mostly clear skies overnight tonight with fewer clouds as the night goes on. And tomorrow, 70s in the morning, highs back to the mid-80s in the afternoon. The muggy meter starts to go down tomorrow evening, and the humidity will start to get lower going into the weekend. And so still slightly humid Friday and Saturday, but much more comfortable than this week has been. We'll really feel the humidity drop off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. High still in the mid-80s the rest of this week. Slight chance of an isolated shower Friday, otherwise mostly sunny now. Chance of showers Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, but highs will be back into the 70s Monday.
For you this morning, eastbound I-94 still closed. So on the left is live photos from the scene from one of our videographers there. You can see state police still out there, fire truck still out there, 2 cars involved in this crash. One of them rolled over onto the highway. On the right, you're seeing that extensive backup this morning, drivers stuck in traffic. If you take a look at our maps, you can see the backups all the way to Rawsonville, traffic moving around 6 miles per hour. So head southbound Rawsonville, eastbound the service drive. You could take the service drive all the way to Haggerty and get back onto the highway here. Still no word yet on when this is going to clear.
Thank you, Allie. Well, changes are coming that could make a big difference in the way medicinal marijuana is sold.
Now, this week in federal court, they'll have opening arguments to remove cannabis from the list of Schedule I drugs. Now, that could lead to things like insurance coverage for medical purchases, since companies often look to the federal government for guidance.
The fact that marijuana is in Schedule I, and therefore it is a violation of federal law to use it, possess it, manufacture it, distribute it, has bearing on risk assessments, and it has bearing on what insurance companies are willing to cover.
Experts say that there are a variety of reasons why the case isn't black and white. They say with more information on the drug, it even could lead to changes in criminal penalties for the 14 states that have not yet legalized medical marijuana use.
All right, time now is 6:21. Up close and personal.
The new photos being released by NASA of Jupiter's largest moon, and what the pictures could show us about that. You're watching 7 Action News this morning.
Well, some patchy fog this morning. Temperatures are going to be climbing into the mid-80s once again. A humid day. And in Hazel Park, 83 degrees by noon. Partly cloudy skies throughout the morning, some patchy fog, but a slight chance of a shower or a thunderstorm afternoon today. It's going to feel like it's close to 90 degrees. Another humid one today.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin. Well, we're getting an up-close and personal look with NASA's pictures of Jupiter's largest moon.
The stunning images of the moon Ganymede were taken by a NASA solar-powered spacecraft. Look at these.
Yeah, they are stunning. The pictures show details like craters and what appear to be fault lines. NASA scientists say they hope to use the images to learn more about Ganymede's composition, atmosphere, and radiation levels. The spacecraft is expected to send another batch of images later this week.
Oh man, the fault lines almost look like, hair or something.
Without a doubt. I mean, looking even at our own moon is
Right.
stunning.
Time now, 6:25. Time to see what's coming up straight ahead on Good Morning America.
And for that, we check in with Rob Marciano, who's live in New York this morning with the preview. Good morning, Rob.
Hi, Keenan. Good morning to you, Alicia. Lots coming up on GMA, including President Biden's first foreign trip set to depart since he took office, meeting with allies and key adversaries. What awaits him in Europe as he cuts off infrastructure talks with Senate Republicans back home. Also ahead, the new concerns about a coronavirus variant that seems to be infecting young people more than other strains. This as Pfizer advances its vaccine trial for children 5 to 11. Dr. Besser is going to join us live. Plus, that Bachelor bombshell, the fallout as Chris Harrison exits as host. What is next for the franchise? That plus much more, guys, coming up on Wednesday on GMA. Keenan, Alicia, back over to you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Rob. Time now is 6:26. Increasing utility bills.
Michigan energy companies, including DTE, are increasing prices during peak hours. The frustration from customers and who's now trying to spike the hike.
And death threats. The disturbing and racially charged voicemail left for a state representative. What she's telling 7 Action News in a new interview. You're watching 7 Action News this morning.
Taking action for you. You're watching 7 Action News this morning.
Congresswoman threatened new this morning. A Michigan representative worried for her own safety after an intimidating voicemail.
We are going to get you. You will die.
Why this lawmaker isn't a stranger to these kind of calls and what investigators are saying about the message.
What goes around? An Oakland County Fire Department recognized for going above and beyond. How a man saved by their heroics is paying it forward, along with another Metro Detroit company.
And representing DETROIT, a 7th grader heading to the national stage to compete in the Scripps National Spelling Bee. What she says her spelling strategy is and how you can watch.
But first, we do want to start with some breaking news. It's been a deadly morning on Metro Detroit roads. 2 separate crashes leaving at least 3 people dead.
One of those incidents killing a 4-year-old on the city's west side. 7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham is joining us live at that scene with what else we are learning this morning. Darren.
Yes, well, sadly, that 4-year-old passed away, and as I understand it, the woman driving the vehicle that the child was in has been arrested because alcohol is believed to be a factor. The dogs are certainly out this morning, so I'll tell you, we're at 7 Mile and Faust, where this happened around 2:30 this morning, about a quarter mile west of Southfield Freeway. The roadway opened up, I would say, probably about 45 minutes ago, but police were out here as of 2:30 this morning because of an accident between a Chevy Impala and a Nissan Sentra. A man driving the Impala, he died from his injuries, and the child and the woman were in the Nissan. Again, the woman was believed to be driving under the influence, and so she is in the hospital listed in temporary serious condition. And at this point, police are, as I understand it, reviewing video from any of the green light cameras here out at a couple of the businesses where this occurred. And so we're going to actually go ahead and toss it over to Allie Hoxie, who has more on other problems on the roadways this morning. Allie?
Yeah, that's right. Like you said, Darren, it was about 30 minutes ago or so that 7 Mile reopened, but what's not reopened is this crash on eastbound I-94. Now, it's closed at Belleville. This is actually at one of our cameras from the Belleville rest stop. You can see extensive backup here. This is a major traffic headache for drivers this morning. We are being told this is a deadly crash, so no word yet on when the highway is going to reopen because Michigan State Police are still investigating. Taking a look at our maps, you can see just how slow traffic moving, 9 miles per hour. Exit Rawsonville, you can take the service drive. I am being told there is a bit of backup on the service drive, so be aware of that as well. But you can take the service drive and get back onto Haggerty to the highway.
All right, thank you so much, Allie, and good morning, and thank you so much for waking up with us on this Wednesday morning.
And we do have some fog out there. Let's check in with 7 First Alert meteorologist Kevin Jeans. Is it burning off pretty quickly, Kev?
Yeah, it's not that dense out there now, but some fog to start. It's a humid morning and it's a warm morning. And this afternoon, it's going to be hot and sticky. Again, highs in the mid 80s, but it's going to feel like it's about 90 degrees today. So as the kids ready for school, if they're walking to school, the bus stops this morning, partly cloudy, some patchy fog. In the upper 60s right now. We're going to quickly climb into the 80s after 11 o'clock this morning. Partly cloudy, a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm picking up by 2 p.m. through the remainder of the day today. We're not going to get as many storms today as we had yesterday. So with the humidity as high as it is and not as much rain nearby to cool you down, it's going to feel like it's about 90 degrees. So light colored, loose fitting clothing would be better to keep everybody cool. Highs today, again, mid-80s, slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. These will be slow moving east to west this afternoon throughout this evening. Chance of rain winds down this evening closer to sunset. We'll look at storm chances the rest of the week. And also I'm talking about a solar eclipse that you may not want to miss tomorrow. We'll talk about that in the rest of my forecast coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin. Well, new this morning, a racist and threatening voicemail sent to a Michigan lawmaker. Take a listen.
Enjoy your life while you have it, I guess. I mean, maybe write a will real quick.
State Representative Cynthia Johnson is no stranger to the threat. She began receiving similar calls last year after calling out a witness during Rudy Giuliani's testimony before the Michigan House Oversight Committee. And like previous threats, this one centers around the lie that the election was stolen.
7 Action News reporter Jen Shantz joins us live now with Representative Johnson's reaction and what investigators are saying about that disturbing voicemail. Jen?
Well, Keenan, Michigan State Police are currently investigating this. This voicemail was hard to listen to this morning. In fact, most of it we can't even share with you based on its content. Several times this caller used the N-word. They used racial slurs directed at black women. There were threats of raping Rep. Johnson's children, promises to slit her throat. And it was clear throughout this voicemail that the person on the other end of the call wanted Rep. Johnson to know that she wanted her dead.
We got long-range shooters. You might be going grocery. Boom, dead.
On the other end of this voicemail is State Rep. Cynthia Johnson. She represents the 5th House District, which includes much of Southwest Detroit.
I was like not even a minute into it. I had to pull over. It was horrific.
Whoever made the call seemed to want Johnson to know who they were, though we can't make out the name clearly.
Hey, Cynthia Johnson, this is again.
I don't know the person. I don't know the bot. I don't know whatever it might be. I don't know.
The voice, appearing to be a woman, uses the N-word multiple times, threatens to slit Rep. Johnson's throat, and again spouts the baseless lie that the election was stolen. Johnson says she started getting threatening calls after she participated in a House Oversight Committee hearing in December, where Rudy Giuliani testified on unproven claims of election irregularities.
I was the one who refused to allow him and his people to try and take away the vote from Detroiters.
Johnson was later removed from her committees after a Facebook video responding to threats and telling her supporters to, quote, hit them in the pocketbook.
So this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. I was talking to those in our community, not allow people to walk over you, not allow people to take advantage of you, not accept these kinds of threats.
Threats that for Johnson keep coming. She says she's received more than 8,000 hate-filled or threatening emails since then. This one not only hateful, but violent.
We are going to get you. You will die. Enjoy your life while you have it, I guess. I mean, maybe write a will real quick. But you will die.
Law enforcement, they're on it, and hopefully the FBI will do more than what they've done with threats that were made against me in the past.
So, Jen, if and when police identify the person behind that voicemail, what kind of trouble could they be in and what kind of punishment could they face?
Well, ultimately, of course, Keenan, that would be left up to state police and prosecutors. But a man who previously was charged with threatening State Rep Johnson's life, he was charged with making a threat of terrorism. That man also faces charges for making a false bomb threat at the state capitol back in 2020. Again, Michigan State Police are investigating this. We'll keep you posted as we learn more on this very disturbing story. Keenan?